What's up everybody? I'm Aaron Rian with the Brokerage House, and I help thousands of agents make millions of dollars in the real estate industry. And today, I'm here to talk to you about a subject that is becoming more popular in the real estate industry amongst our clients, and that is buyer's remorse after a buyer has purchased a home. So as an agent, we all want to take care of our clients. So how do we help them make the right decision? So in this video, we're going to talk about how you can guide your clients into making the absolute best decision and hopefully help them not have buyer's remorse after the transaction closes. First thing that we're noticing when it comes to buyer's remorse and why buyers experience buyer's remorse is they bought a home that requires too much maintenance. We see that a lot, especially amongst the first-time home buyers who just don't know what they're getting themselves into. When you're talking to your buyers and you're finding out a little bit about them, hopefully during the home search and the home buying process, you're getting to know them a little bit. If they're not used to maintenance, or they're not used to being able to do some repairs themselves or being able to do some maintenance themselves, things like maybe caulking their backsplash or cleaning out their air filters or just little general things that happen around their house. You may want to guide them into maybe a condo or townhome where there's not going to be as much maintenance, or guide them to a new construction home where everything is brand new and they're not going to have to worry about it for several years. So getting to know your clients, finding out a little bit about them, what their skill level is with, being able to work around their house, what their knowledge is of knowing what's going on with their house and how handy they are, can really help them in the future so that you can save them a lot of headaches and hopefully buyer's remorse. The second lesson for buyers, know your financial limitations and what you can take on after mortgage, insurance, and utility payments. So many buyers, and I've worked with these buyers myself too, where they focus just on the mortgage payment. They don't take into account taxes, insurance, utilities, and you would think that it's common sense, right? We do this every single day as real estate agents, but you have to remember the folks that we're dealing with and showing properties to, this sometimes is a once in a lifetime experience. For a lot of buyers, they may do this 2 or 3 times in their life. So they need that guidance. They need that extra person to look out for them in their position. So, you may want to just walk your buyers through that, in addition to buying the property and having the mortgage, you're going to have to pay taxes. Property taxes are a real thing. Utilities are going to be a real thing. If you really want to look after your buyer, request a copy of the utility bills from the seller so you can get an idea as far as how much they need to budget for their utilities. What's the insurance going to cost you? They can get a quote from their insurance agent prior to purchasing the home so that they have an idea as far as what that monthly insurance payment would look like. The other thing is setting aside monthly costs for maintenance. So having a maintenance fund, so say the house might need a new roof in a couple years. Roofs are expensive. They can be $10, $12, $15, $16, $20,000. A lot of people don't have that they can just write a check for and get a new roof on their home, even if they need it. So being able to set that money aside every month in a budget so that if the siding goes bad, the furnace goes out, the AC unit goes out, the roof goes bad, something happens to that house, they can get it repaired and they're not sitting there wishing they didn't buy the house. So that's another tip for you. Another thing that we're seeing with buyers when they experience buyer's remorse is they bought a house that's too small. So keep in mind when you are looking at a house with a buyer, make sure that they're not just buying the house that they need today, but they're looking a couple years down the road. I had a young couple one time that was planning on having a family, but they were looking at 2 bedrooms. And the husband worked from home, so he needed a home office also. So I had to guide them and say, you're gonna have your master suite, you're gonna have your home office, but where's the kid that you're trying to have gonna sleep? A lot of buyers make that mistake. You wanna make sure you guide them. We got them into a nice 4-bedroom home so they would have some room to grow their family over the years. And still to this day, I think I sold them their house back in 2012. So 10 years later, they're still in that house and very, very happy with it. So it's good to hear that just by giving them some simple suggestions and guidance, you can help make their purchase an exciting one and one that they're going to be happy with. Another thing to keep in mind is buyers should know what their must-haves are or what their deal breakers are for a house. So do you have to have a new kitchen? Are your deal breakers that you got to have 4 bedrooms or it's nothing? Know what your must-haves are. Every buyer has them. They have things that they want in their house. If they have to have a yard, maybe recommend that they don't buy a condo or a townhome unless it has a yard. So just making sure that you have them write out a list. I always had my buyers do that. Write out exactly what you're looking for and what your deal breakers are. And that way, when we're walking through a house, if I see anything on this list, I can point it out to you if I see it. And you can then justify if you're willing to overlook those things to buy that house. The next thing is they bought a house in the wrong location. So how long is their commute to work if they still work in office? How long is their commute going to be to their parents' home or wherever it is that they go on a regular basis? How far is their church? Making sure that they buy a house in the right location. People will absolutely be dissatisfied with their purchase if they purchase a home where they have really long commute. So that's something to keep in mind when you're guiding your clients to making the right decision. Is this the area where you're going to set roots down and that you have activities to do and you're going to start finding new churches or social groups to be able to hang out in? Or are you going to continue making those drives to wherever it is that those activities take place? And maybe you're okay making that commute and you can commit to it for a long term. That's okay too. But just make sure you at least have that conversation with your clients. It'll help them out a bunch in the future. Another lesson for buyers: visit the home at different times of the day to get a feel for the commute, the neighborhood traffic, the noise levels, all that good stuff. Noise levels: do the neighbors have parties on the weekend? Do they have parties at night? One house I saw had a motocross track in the back, and they would do it on Friday nights. So you'd hear motorcycles revving up and jumping over jumps for hours on Friday nights. So that's one thing to keep in mind. What is the noise? What's the traffic levels like in different parts of the week, different parts of the day? All of that goes into factor when you're considering your buyer satisfaction in purchasing the home. The next thing is, did they buy an older home that's in need of a lot of repairs? So nobody likes to do repairs on their home. Everybody wishes that their home was just ready to go the way they want it and it would never break. But things break, especially the older the house is. If you're gonna buy an older house, and a lot of people like them because they like the charm and the character and the way that they look, and they like the amenities of an older house. But they have to understand that repairs are gonna come along with that. Upgrading electrical systems, new drywall. Maybe they're gonna have to refinish the hardwood floors. Maybe they're gonna have to put a new roof in. Maybe they're gonna have to upgrade the windows to get full insulation. So those are things that buyers should consider if they're even looking or considering purchasing an older house. And it's our jobs as agents to just make them aware of those issues so that they can think that entire process through. It'll really ensure their satisfaction during the long term. The next thing is inspections and home warranties. You want to make sure that your buyers have an inspection of the property. It's important that when your buyer purchases that home, they know exactly what they're getting themselves into. And an inspector can go through and explain to them little things about the house. Maybe how to, hit a water shutoff, or, maybe they need to know how to operate the garbage disposal, or, disconnect something. So you want to make sure that they have an inspection for their peace of mind and for yours also. And then home warranties are also a great idea. I recommend them on every house that we sell, even if the seller pays for them or the buyer pays for them. Because during that first year, you've already spent a lot of money to acquire the property. Your budget might be a little bit stretched. So we want to get you a warranty that covers everything that could go wrong during that first year, so that while you're kind of saving funds back up and recouping those expenses, if something does go wrong, you're going to be completely protected. So the overall lesson is, do your research on the house you're buying. Line up your priorities with your budget and stay realistic. Don't rush. Take a break if you need to, and make a good decision. So again, hopefully you are a fan of the content that we put out there. If you are, hit that subscribe button down below. If you found this information to be helpful, give us the thumbs up button. And if you have questions, comments, leave them down below. We answer all of those. But I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.